You guys really don't need any game to know that this was probably the worst response that you could have had to the question of, are you both dating? Like, honestly, you could have just stayed quiet, Gojo. You didn't have to say anything. And yet, he chose to deny, and just put down the situation. He was like, "No, I am not dating Marine." He might as well just been like, "I hate her. She's ugly. I want to get rid of her." No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's too extreme. Not that just too extreme. But the fact that he just was like, "No, not really. No, we're not dating." Like, bro, this was just a huge fucking L. And then Marine is trying to explain herself like, "Oh, we're only hanging out so much because it was summer." And so she had to kind of defend that position of the fact that they're not dating. And then so they're like, "Oh shit, then why didn't you invite us?" And so her friend over here is like, "Yeah, invite me too." And so like this whole situation, this whole debacle has just really left the beginning of episode 2 of Dress Up Darling just on a negative start. See, look right here, we aren't not at all. We're not dating. Like, bro, how much do you need to deny it? Like, your face is behind the mask. He could have just stayed quiet. No one knows that you're panicking. No one can see your face. No one can see your dissenting eyes. No, and and he's just screaming at the top of his lungs by the looks of it. To be louder than the music around him. And look, like everyone just dead stops. Like everyone just dead stops and just looks at him, and like they're just probably shocked. They're just probably shocked, and I'd be too. I'd be like, damn, you really had to go that far, Gojo, to renounce the relationship you built up with Marine this whole entire time. And Marine's a huge fucking catch. I can understand, being nervous and whatnot, but you didn't have to just spur out and be such a beta about it. Just be like he's, I give credit where credit's due. Gojo does a fantastic job, with his workmanship and school and all this other stuff. But bro, why is it that every character has to be like some low testosterone beta male? Like this energy. Why? Why do they have to have this terrible energy about them? I could be talking about, if this didn't happen, we could be talking about the cross-dressing dude. The trap. The dude who dresses up like a gal while he cosplays, and it's fantastic. We could be talking about that. But this was just a huge L on Gojo's part. Everybody else is talking about the trap, right? You see every other person talking about, "Oh look, he's a trap," or this is a girl. All the major YouTubers are talking about that. But no, here I'm talking about this because it's very important. I think that a lot of guys, a lot of boys, even men, make this mistake. Like, you don't have to renounce anything. You don't have to, reject anyone. We're the ones we're the ones that should be in panic mode saying, "Oh shit, let me just take what I can get." A lot of you guys are desperate. You guys, like, a lot of us, we can't, we can't just deny anything. But yeah, this was just, I was not having fun in the beginning, guys. That's all I really wanted to say. Like, and then here it gets even worse. Marine is over here feeling like trash. He's over here cleaning himself up. He's spilled a drink on him, and whoopie the fucking do. Good for you, Gojo. And then right here, just look at Marine. Look at Marine's reaction. She's like, damn, does he really not vibe with me? Does he really just dislike me that much? Am I really that terrible of a person? Like this, like, bro, now she's like going full erotic here, thinking that maybe there isn't nothing between them. And it's just a shame. Come to think of it, when Juju-san asked him the same thing, so this was just This is not what I want to see. This is not what I want to see, guys. I'm probably making a humiliated United too. So she, holy man. And then it gets even worse. So this shit gets even worse, you know. He just denied any type of relationship with Marine. And then once, you know, these guys come talk to her, you know, they're obviously no threat to Marine. There were no threat to their relationship. But then he comes out here, he peeks around and sees that there are people right here talking to her. Like she's like, where did she go? And then he realizes there's guys talking to her. Yep. You should, bro, he should just claim her already, bro. Like, why keep beating around the bush? You guys already been to each other's houses by the looks of it. You guys have been hanging out. You guys are pretty much partners in crime when it comes to cosplay. You guys already are hanging out with each other's friends. You guys hang out one-on-one with each other. You guys are always alone with one another. You guys vibe together. They're both great people. You know, they're both into almost the damn same thing. You know, they cosplay together. They eat, laugh, live, love together. Like, it's just so tiring seeing Gojo put himself on the sidelines. He should have claimed her right there and then and been like, look, we're not dating, we're married, god damn it. We're married. She already has a kid. She's already gonna have my kid already. Like, bro, how hard is it to say something so uncanny like that? And then you could all just be like, nah, I'm kidding, you know, I'm joking. Or am I? You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, it's not that hard to, you know, be a little bit more positive, you know, a little bit more funny. You know, are you guys dating? Yes. Yes. You guys are. You guys might as well be. You know, I'm not trying to rush whatever relationship that they have. I'm just saying, like, bro, this was like the worst fucking response Gojo could have ever made, period. Like, imagine having a multiple choice answer on your test and there's like 1,000 different choices. He picked the worst fucking one, guys. Out of 1,000 multiple choices, he picked the one that just denies, renounces, and rejects. Like, bro, and then Marine had to back him up in his bullshit. And then he has the audacity to just be jealous of this guy talking to Marine. And then he's like freaking out like, what the hell, man? I'm totally not hitting on her. We're just friends. He's literally, I think he's on the other team. He's not even into gals. He's into guys. So this whole entire debacle is just, it was just so extremely sad to see, to a wonderful fucking episode. This was just a remarkable episode, seeing Marine cosplaying, being happy in her nature, being happy in her cosplay. You know, them having fun, going to the aquarium, you know, going to stores, going out, getting snacks, and then meeting the trap guy. You know, and then meeting the guy who cross-dresses. You know, it was just such a pleasant episode. It really was. You know, Marine right here, she got sick as well prior to all this, before going to the thing, and then he helps her out. You know, just overall an extremely good episode with a terrible beginning. Like, Gojo, bro, do better. Like, stop being a little coward. Like, he really is. Like that. Like, at the end of the day, I might be, you know, being hyperbolic to an extent. But yeah, stop. Like, what is up with this fear? What is up with this fear of rejection? You know, what is? It just makes no flipping sense to me. Like, it really doesn't. You know, us guys are the ones getting rejected. We're not rejecting gals. But anyways, guys, like I said, I could have been talking about this dude right here, dude/gal. But you know what? Everybody else is fucking talking about it, and someone's got to mention Gojo's bullshit. Someone's got to mention his fuck-ups. Someone's got to mention the L's, right? It's not that fun. But it is what it is. And it is what it isn't. Alright, I'm done.